So welcome to this first video tutorial related to the Stage 5 assessment task. This is going to look at the very first activity, which is located about here. We're talking about what data is and primary sources and secondary sources. And the students are asked to take a look at a particular website which has information about a whole bunch of successful people, and then answer questions related to that. Students will be asked to look at their own daily activities and compare that to the people in the list, work out whether they're likely to become successful or not, make all sorts of inferences that can be made from the data set that the students create. So it's a little bit of fun to get the students into using Excel and also into thinking about data and the sorts of things that we can determine based on the data that's in front of us. Here's the website, daily routines of famous people, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of famous people there. Some of them I don't know, and what the graph shows is the different routines that they do, so whether they sleep or do creative work or whatever. I've set up a part of a spreadsheet here, and I'm going to take you through the process of setting up the spreadsheet for the students in your class and then getting the data from them onto one combined page. So this first page simply shows the different colors and what they mean. So sleeping is the aqua blue, when they're doing a day job it's green, and so on. If you're interested in creating those colors yourself, here are the RGB numbers for them. If you want to know how I got those colors, because I extracted them from this image, there is another video on that. We have another sheet called combined, and as you can see there's nothing in combined, but there will be at the end. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to grab this key and I want to put it into a new worksheet. So I can just press Control C to copy. I can press on plus to get me up a new worksheet, and I can press Control V and it will copy it in. I'm going to rename it, so I right click, choose rename, and my first student's name is Ebtisan. I'm going to put her name. Next to that I'm going to put the hour, so first of all 12 AM, so midnight, then 1 and 2 and so on. Now I can use this little feature and drag across, and notice they're all ones, but if I click this little down arrow and I choose fill series, it goes up to 11. That's all right, I'm happy with that. Here I'll put 12 PM, and then here I'm going to put 1, so that'll be 1 in the afternoon, and I'll go through this same process again and try and get to say about 12. So down arrow, click on fill series, that only goes to 10, so I'm going to drag it out a couple more. Alright, so now I have all of my hours. I don't like how that 11 is so close to the 12, so I'm going to change that. I'll put all of these in the center, so just make them in the center, and I'll do the same with these ones here. Just put them in the center. Okay, so now it's a little bit unwieldy to work with this way because I have to scroll across to see the rest of the data. I want it all in one neat little package, so I'm going to click on row 4 and I'm going to go to format, and I'm going to change the default width. As you can see at the moment it's 8.47. I want it to be, let's say, 5. So I'm going to move the name Ebtisam down, but I don't want the word Ebtisam. I'm going to use something a little bit more generic, so I'm going to change it to the word name, and then I'm going to move it down a couple of cells, and it'll make sense for you in a moment. And I will put it down there. So I'm going to copy, Control C and Control V to place it in its new location, and I'll get rid of it from here. So this is what I'm going to use for Ebtisam as well as for every other student in my class. So I move Ebtisam to the end here. You can see that just clicking and dragging will move it. Now what I want is I want to create another one of these templates for every student in my class. So I could go and do that the long way, or I could simply right click on Ebtisam and say move or copy, and I want to copy it to this same assessment task activity, and I want to move it to the end. I want to create a copy and move it to the end. So now you can see I have Ebtisam 2, and I want to keep doing this. So move or copy, create a copy, move it to the end, Ebtisam 3. So this might take you a little bit if you've got 20 students, but hopefully you get the idea. I'm going to right click, I'm going to move or copy, I'm going to choose create a copy. I want it at the end. Let's say that I only have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students. Ebtisam, I'll rename these to other students in my class. Bill. So I have my students, and as you can see, they've all got the same information in them, which is going to make my job much easier. So now, when the students come in, I'm going to explain to them what they need to do, which is to map out what their activities are over the course of 24 hours. Now, I know they'll vary over different days, but they simply need to do an average, I guess. So we'll start with Ebtisam, and Ebtisam is going to choose sleeping first of all. Why not? So I'm going to, there's many ways to do this. I could highlight these and choose to format the cells. But if I go to the color, you can see these colors are here, but it's not that color, so that's not the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to click on one of the blue boxes, then I'm going to click the format painter, and then I'm going to say, all right, Ebtisam sleeps between 12 and 6, and she also is going to sleep up here. So I'll click on here again and choose the format painter and go 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you can see that it formatted it without bringing the words in, which is quite nice. Between 9 and 4 she goes to school, so that's her day job. Between 9 and 4 she goes to school. During that time there is a 1 hour lunch break, so the 1 hour lunch break can be there. She also eats at this time, so, and at 8 o'clock she's actually catching a bus to school, so that's sort of not in there, so we'll make that another. So that's Ebtisam's day. The only other thing she needs to do is she needs to put Ebtisam in here. Okay, Ebtisam is finished. Now we need Bill, Sue, Mary and Pippin to all do the same thing. So now that I have my 5 students with what their activities are, I can make this combined list. Easiest way to do it, let's say that the class is called 10 computing, and we can start to populate it. Now to populate it we simply go to each of them in turn. I'm going to highlight row 6, go back to combined, and I'm going to paste it in. So there's Ebtisam's information. Now if I go to Bill, again highlight row 6, copy, go back to combined and place it in 5. Now go to Sue, highlight the whole row, copy, go back to combined, paste it in, and do that for the others as well. You can see what has happened here with all of these Ebtisam and Bill and Sue. It all fits nicely. With combined, I haven't made the rows the same width, so I'm going to choose the whole of the spreadsheet just by clicking the triangle in the corner, and under format I'm going to make the default width 5 again. Okay, and that looks a little bit better. Now I don't know what the hours are, so I'll put 10 computing upper row, and I'll put the hours in here. I'll just grab those from Ebtisam's, so 12 AM through to 12, so just copy that information into combined as well, and there it is. So now you can see that how long students are doing different activities for, and what the students could then do is they could work out things like, well, how close am I to the successful people? Who am I most like out of the successful people in this table? So am I most like Victor Hugo? Am I most like Charles Darwin? And the students could also work out a whole bunch of other information or data based on this from there. This is now a primary source, and they can look at information like what's the average amount of time that students sleep? What's the average amount of time students go to school? How much time do they put into creativity? And so on. There's a whole bunch of data related activities that you could do. Anyway, I hope this makes sense. And if you have any questions, please email me and we can work it out together. Thanks for watching.